All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We got game number 2 around the corner here for the HoN Tour Season 2 qualifiers. Here in the round of 64, 007 taking on BRVO. That's right.
I forgot their name last time too, so
they're not tagged up. One of those teams.
It's hard. They are the actual STGS former Bravo team, I do believe.
Oh,
they had the Alpha, Bravo, Delta, those guys.
Okay,
so.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's one of the guys that's still tagged up STGS. So
there you go.
That makes sense then. Anyways, so you guys can see, let's jump in now to game number 2, because actually they are already at the picking stage. So the banning phase even finishing right there. Look at that. Engineer, Tempest, Ophelia, Monkey King. So Engineer and Monkey King. Reaction of last game even coming out there.
Yeah, for once, not going to see that Engineer coming out here in one of the first couple of picks.
Yeah.
People really starting to get the hang of that, but Lodestone not being banned out as a result of the Engineer being banned and, well, first picked. People really, really valuing the potential of this Suicide Hero.
Yeah, he is arguably the best Suicide Hero, honestly. I mean, there's obviously arguments for certain Suicide Heroes as far as what they bring to the table ultimately and how they progress with the game, but Lodestone he's definitely in that discussion. So no surprise to see him just kind of really snap first picked. I mean, right as we enter that picking phase. BRVO was pretty confident with who they wanted to go with, it seemed like. You got over now in 007. A lot of fun right clicks going on over there. Just a little bit of a tease, though. Again, yesterday compared to today has definitely been two completely different spectrums. We had at least one, if not two, just odd heroes every single game yesterday. Today, though, it's been pretty much as expected. I mean, there really hasn't been anything.
You get down into the nitty-gritty, and the team started to get a little bit more serious about the picks, a little bit more comfortable with what they're using in the competitive scene here. And, well, of course, we see Parasite coming out as the second pick overall, so no real surprise there. The Legion team going to get their choice, and, I mean, I'm not even going to try to list the number of really high-tier heroes that are available.
Yeah.
When you've only got 4 bans and 2 picked heroes already, there's still a lot of strong heroes on the board. I don't even know what's going on. But on the other side, you saw that Berserker and the prisoner that were highlighted. Breaky, is 007 going to do right by you?
No, they're not. They're just doing the tease, like they did with, like a lot of teams do with the Cthulhu Puffer Emperor. I mean, got to a point where it's just like, you know what, it's fun, but until you actually man up and pick it up, then
Then you don't even get to talk about it.
Don't even get to talk about it.
Not even.
Yeah, about the first, it is funny though, because compared to lockpick, so the first pick in lockpick didn't technically come out until not only after the 4 blind bans, then there was the 6 locks, and then there was the 6 more bans after that. So you're at that time, you're 12, you're 16 heroes into the pool that are already taken care of, whether they're locked or banned. So this, as you said, though, you only have 4 bans and then right away into the first pick. So it's definitely a different pace with that said.
That first picked hero is almost always going to be one of your super god tier type heroes that people really, really value. And, well, you're definitely going to see more of those entering this pool. In the first 4 picks, the first 6 picks, and then the last 4 picks, those are going to be a little bit lower tier a lot of the times because of those bans. But as we see, you're really, really strong heroes. People seem to not care too much about the nerfs that Rally has been afflicted with, as he is picked up here, and then a Sandwraith as well.
Yeah, as expected with the Rally. Yesterday we did on the podcast. I mean, sure, you nerfed Rally. His landing presence got nerfed, but by all means, he's still that top tier hero consideration. So, picked up here by 007. Not surprised by that at all. Sandwraith, the final pick for BRVO, and obviously we got to see last series power of Sandwraith, and just in general lately, just what Sandwraith can do here on the competitive scene. So a sound pick for BRVO, and obviously, ideally you usually want to have him in that short lane, perhaps in this case, babysat by Glacius. If not another support, depending on if they want to go a jungler or not. But Fade is going to be the final pick on the other hand for 007. So very aggressive. And, you look at that Sandwraith pickup that they want to try to take advantage of maybe a little bit of passivity early on. But again, it keeps going back to he can still bring quite a bit to the table. So
he definitely can. But at Fade, especially if you stick her into a lane where she's going to be able to get efficient levels, if she can get that reflection up and then get the assistance of 1 to 2 additional teammates on the team, they will be able to shut that Sandwraith down until he's able to really get tanky. And I'm talking about like level 9 plus, getting the Steam Boots plus Vestments or a Helm of the Black Legion, something like that. And Fade definitely a hero that will be capable of trying to lock that Sandwraith down. And I like that pick. It's definitely a hero that's dropped off quite a bit since we saw that Boundai nerf. Prior to that, really was a first-tier hero and has dropped off. We still see her now and then, but certainly not banned or picked every single game like she was prior to that.
Yeah, no doubt that did hurt her, but still, the presence that she brings to the game is obviously still very powerful just in general, just with that reflection of hers, being able to go around the map, especially at that level 11 mark, and get information for your team as well as open and get some free kills here and there. So you see the first ban on Nymphora. I think that's actually just kind of a response to that Fade final pick right there. You know, figuring maybe they want to try to that Fade Nymphora. That's obviously a very dangerous combination. Don't want to give them that. So Nymphora, Pebbles, Scout, and Empath so far coming out as far as the bans are concerned. Now we have one more for either side, so
getting rid of a couple of the stronger supports right here seems to be maybe part of the strategy here from the BRVO crew. In this case, the Nymphora, and then the Empath was banned out by 007. There's a Wretched Hag ban as well, so maybe not really aiming for those supports. I was thinking maybe since they already have Glacius, and they've already removed Engineer from the pool, then you get rid of your Luna, your Pyromancer, and maybe your Nymphora, and then you leave somebody with a lower tier support. But in this case, those Luna and Pyromancer specifically going to be 2 heroes that are available. And holy hell, Master of Arms also going to squeak through.
Yeah, he managed to make it through, and oh snap, well, I guess technically the captain picked it up, but oh snap's the one in control of it right now. So, but yeah, that was a snap pick. I mean, they were definitely eyeing that throughout that banning phase, I'm pretty sure, and happy that they got that. There's the Aluna pickup, so no doubt 007 still needed a support themselves, and decided to go with the Aluna. So to finish things off here for the Legion team, I mean, you look at their options now as far as what they can go with. They're really the jungle option has kind of been taken away to an extent. You got your Suicide Lodestone, you got your Sandwraith for short, Master of Arms, something like a MOA Torturer mid could definitely work. Yeah,
with Torture on that board, that's definitely an option. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe a Magnus, Meraxis, Devo. They're all still available on the board if they want to run something like that. They could even pick up one of the lower tier junglers here and try to make something there happen that's a little bit less common, but they have a lot of options going into this next pick. They probably want to pick up something with a stun, though, to just get a little bit stronger of a team fight and ganking composition, but they're certainly taking their time.
Yeah, as they should in the final pick. 15 seconds now remaining, so just want to make sure they're good to go with whoever they decide to finish things off with. And again, usually the idea, especially with the hero like that, you want to try to build an aggressive team around him. So keeping that in mind too, they're going to go Meraxis as that final pick, and what heroes you were suggesting. So Meraxis, obviously, he can definitely bring that to the table as far as getting that earlier on Portal Key, and the Matrax makes for some fun moments too in terms of both surviving as well as turning things around. So Meraxis, the final pick now for 007. You see a right click on a Warbeast right there. And actually, I think that would actually fit very well with their team. They could still use carry a potential hero, and on top of that, a suicide option. So,
yeah, if they do run that, they're going to end up putting the Aluna Fade, most likely, into that middle lane and letting Rally get into that short lane solo position. And I think this is kind of what BRVO was betting on when they picked up that Meraxis, thinking that Aluna Fade might be the combination there mid. And Glacius Meraxis, okay, well, they go with something else there. I want to touch on the Meraxis really briefly, though. He's definitely a tankier hero in that middle lane than what you might be used to with something like Pebbles or even a Deadwood. Meraxis has a lot more defensive potential, and it's a lot harder to bring him down with somebody like that Fade. So that could be a pretty good pick there, but holy heck. What do you make out of this Corrupted Disciple, Breaky?
Well, the Corrupted Disciple pickup, he is a hero that got some changes in that balance patch, specifically with that the Corrupted Conduit of his. Now, let me actually pull up the changelog, because
well.
I was going to sit here and trying to just remember off the top of my head, but just pull it up real quickly.
3 increased starting damage.
Yeah, starting damage increased, but the conduit's the big thing. So they cast magic to physical on the cast type, so no longer things like Shrunken Head will remove it, which is definitely a pretty big deal. Reduce the cast action time, so it can get off a little quicker, and then now also can only be removed by getting out of the 700 range. So it makes it just a little bit stronger in the sense of being able to channel it more effectively throughout the game, basically, with that conduit. And yeah, I mean, I've always been a fan of Corrupted Disciple. Now, I will say, and with the AoE presence, it's going to be good against a hero like Sandwraith, with that said as well. So when the Mirage comes out with that Overload up and that Electric Tide even could definitely clean them out pretty quickly. Oh, hold that thought, though. We have some very possible action going to be kicking things off. We're going to start off the game. Fade running into no man's end. Rally comes up with the Capello. Lone Stone with the rocket. Who's going to die first? Fade will go down first. There's the counter kill on Master of Arms, and it is still going at it. More heroes are most likely going to die right here.
Right now. He's going to be going hard, trying to find this Miraxis. Can he get in there? Power Throw will finish off Miraxis. And Sandwraith is hiding in these trees. Do they know he's here? Heck yes, they do. Sandwraith going to take all that damage. And will they finish him off? There's the Leech going to slow him down. The Power Throw. And Dirty Mobs picks up the double tap. A big, big win. Are they done? They got to be done.
Are they? I mean, Rally's still going in. He has to compel up, but not going to look to use it. And actually, Miraxis now responding. If he can get this Quake set off, he can on a Parasite.
Body block.
We still might see another counter kill. Yeah, body block. No, he's not going to go over the body block. It might not matter in the end. Compel away. Oh. It will matter in the end. Pretty big deal right there. But even if it was body block, I guess Compel still would have happened. So, big getaway, and Parasite survives using a health potion. Wow, what a start to game number 2 here. The funny thing about all that, too, is that, remember, Bloodlust kill actually went in favor of BRVO, yet the following 3 kills went to 007 right there. And actually, Parasite in the middle lane, taking some damage. Awkward position for him to be in right off the bat.
Yeah, he's a bit of in an awkward position.
He went the Leech first. Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense now.
Trying to soak up that experience. Yeah. This is something that a lot of competitive players will say, that it's never really worth going the Leech. It's never really worth going the Glacial Blast first on a hero that it's really going to set you back like this. Maybe by getting 3 kills, helping out with 2 of them, getting a kill or involvement in 2 of them, maybe that's worth it, but he's still sitting here, gonna be under-leveled as a result, and
it's taken away from Rally.
Yeah.
And it's leeching Rally's experience. It's also very important. So, yeah, it's whether or not he was involved in 2 of those kills, as you put it. So it's hard to sit here and say like it wasn't worth it whatsoever, but it is a sacrifice. But there you go. He hits level 2, so of course he gets the infest.
And he's gone.
And goes to the jungle, yeah. So just having a good time walking around in the middle lane. Rarely see that, but obviously with this circumstance it made sense. But yeah, Corrupted Disciple, it looks, how about this decision too by the Legion team? They send Sandwraith top. Right now he is by himself. The Conduit going to completely box him out. Yeah, that's going to be something very difficult for him to deal with in this case. Now Glacius is running up, but look at that. Corrupted Disciple really, really boxing him out, at least early on here.
And it's an interesting skill build that CD's going for as well, actually putting no points into the Electric Tide that we would, generally speaking, see maxed. Instead, going to be maxing out that Conduit, at least for now, and with the buffs that it has received, I certainly can agree with this. I mean, it's a very strong spell, and then getting the additional movement speed, already at 3% movement speed from Static Discharge. Once he picks up Boots, without the support of Glacius, Sandwraith will be in an extremely vulnerable position.
Yeah, well, in this matchup, yeah, it definitely makes sense. As you said, with the movement speed, especially from that Static Discharge, being his passive ability, it allows him to keep up with Sandwraith, even with that Desert's Curse, perhaps. Once he has, when he uses it initially, at least. Now, Luna taking a lot of damage right there, doing some to Glacius, though, so a lot of back and forth. Obviously, some adjustments to be made. But, I mean, this goes to the decision as a whole by our Legion team right here to send Sandwraith top in the first place. I still, honestly, am a little baffled by that. I mean,
it's really interesting.
The lanes in general, there's definitely some interesting things going on, because the Hellborn team, and I don't know if this was intended off the bat, but it looked like it was, because Rally went mid right away, and Fade has even been playing a suicide down here. And obviously, if Sandwraith was your bottom instead, he'd be having a dandy time. Lowstone could definitely handle himself a lot better in that suicide role. And on top of everything else, you're dealing with a Parasite here on the Hellborn team. So going aggressive lane like this, a very ballsy decision, and I just don't know if it's really going to accomplish what you want it to in the end. So
It's a bold move. We'll see if it works out for him.
I don't think it is.
I can agree with you, as Master of Arms is actually going to be taking the brunt of Rally's aggression here.
Ooh.
Not going to be able to run him down, and Master of Arms will get the health potion off. So gets away from that one. Rally just didn't have enough mana for his second compel there. It was on cooldown as well. But still forcing the health potion out of Master of Arms. Always something nice to do. And
yeah.
You know, I got to agree with you, Breaky. These lanes have been kind of awkward. Rally is actually in some trouble in the middle lane. The axe is going to be slowing him down right here. A couple more axes and auto attacks will finish off Rally. Looks like Rally did barely get the mana for the compel by using the mana battery, and that's what deterred Meraxis from going for the kill.
You know, the only thing that I can think of here, if you're the Legion side, the only reason why you wanted to do this was because you expected maybe a pseudo tri-lane bottom, which it's possible. They something like in a Luna Fade with that Parasite in the jungle could have been very possible. So I guess with that said, maybe. But as soon as you saw the lanes, I would have probably gone for that adjustment right away because, again, the log, you just deal with this. I mean, Sandwraith, he is going to be completely locked down here at this top lane on the top mid, Corrupted Disciple. He should be still able to have a great time. The bottom matchup, you're also letting Faye now get also some decent farm herself here at the bottom lane against a Lowstone. I mean, sure, in this case, Lowstone's actually going to be ideally trying to get some good farm himself, but, yeah, it's just so awkward all over the place. But Rally does find Master of Arms with Parasite. And this time, he does get the kill onto him, so good collapse coming up. But Meraxis wants some revenge right here, Beef.
I'm not exactly sure he's going to be able to find it, though. I mean, he gets the axes into the Quake on Parasite, but Rally is here. And, well, the compel going to be used, getting Parasite out of there while stunning Meraxis. Emerald Lightning gets the 1 second stun off. The power throw looks like it whiffed right there.
Yeah.
And Meraxis will get away. The Electric Tide not going to connect either. And a Luna gets hit with an axe, so Bravo getting a little bit of revenge. And now Corrupted Disciple going in, drops the conduit. And
oh my god, he's hitting so hard.
Oh my god. Yeah, he's got some damage on him. And the Electric Tide once again not going to connect. The Ancients assisting, and the Ancients will finish him off.
Oh, jeez.
Ay.
that was a fun sequence of events right there. I mean, from Corrupted Disciple hitting for like upwards of 170 damage right there this early on, absolutely ridiculous, to all of a sudden the Ancients getting involved and eventually killing him. So, yeah, very fun sequence of events right there. Meanwhile, Lowstone and Fade at the bottom lane, they're just like, what the hell is going on up there? We're just having our own good time here at the bottom side of the map. So definitely changing up the pace of the game a little bit. And actually, Corrupted Disciple doesn't even have the TP. He's going to have to walk all the way back to the top lane. So Sandwraith ports in, and ideally Sandwraith should at least be able to get one creep wave of free farm here. But we'll see if he's ultimately even able to accomplish that. So, but again, choosing to go back to the top lane here, I feel like they're kind of in this mindset of, you know, well, we made a decision, we have to stick with it. Yeah. It's too late to change. I don't feel that's. I really don't feel that's the case. I mean, I still feel like you could easily make that adjustment. To show you're a little behind now, but make the adjustment, send the Glacius and Sandwraith down here. Fate is level 6, but I don't know. It feels like you're really throwing yourself at this now, trying to hope that it sticks, but Sandwraith is going to continue to have a struggling time. So this Meraxis, he's the one that's going to need to be the shining star here, no doubt.
Fade in some trouble. The Shadow Storm activated, but the creep's going to block, and Fade will walk away, even opening up with the reflection there. That was a really, really ballsy decision. Master of Arms going to try to close the distance, but Fade with the Ghost Marchers is able to get away. So feeling confident down there. Close to death, but not quite.
Sandwraith finding himself in the jungle. He actually runs into a Luna. Going to provide some good damage output, but Deja Vu from a Luna going to be used right there, and we'll quickly get Sandwraith to actually fall back before too much happens. Middle lane in the meantime, Meraxis does pick up a kill on a Cakes. So able to take out Rally right there. He's a 2-level advantage, and again, Meraxis continuing to be a big shining star here for the Legion side. That's what they need, I guess. I mean, getting that portal key, sure, it's going to be big. You know, he's not like that Pebbles, though. He's not like a Deadwood, though. He doesn't have as much of a snowballing impact as those heroes, of course. So it's not going to be as impactful as you would hope for, I would think, if you're the Legion side in this case.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't seem that way just yet, but he's doing well for himself. 407 gold per minute in that middle lane. Going to be getting up that tanky presence, going to be looking at that portal key, but the rest of his team is just pretty dang far behind. Lodestone being played by Pujski. Oh god, that is a difficult name for me to say. My brain hurts.
I think the P
just thinking about that. Juski, there you go.
Juski.
That works for me. But he's doing the second best on his team here, and only at 208 gold per minute in the short lane. Not what you want to see. Whereas what you got playing the Suicide Fade, sitting at 322 gold per minute. The Ghost Marcher's already finished up with a bottle. And as she's level 7 now, going to be able to start roaming pretty soon.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, because of how the lanes were ultimately set up, this definitely gave Faye the opportunity to have this good start that she has here for her team. Now, not to go too over the top, because the big picture, I mean, Fate is up there, but, Parasite and Corrupted Disciple are a little behind. We're only still 8 minutes into the game, so there still is plenty of game left. Yeah, I just still keep looking back at the Sandwraith and the situation that they're putting him in, and is it going to pay off in the end? We'll see. Corrupted Disciple, I also think it's safe to say that Energizer building a hero like Corrupted Disciple, a big pickup for him. He's a hero that's all about mobility when it comes down to it. Being able to stay in range for that conduit, being able to have that overload used very effectively, and the static discharge even to be an annoyance for the opposition is always a good thing too. So an Energizer, Shrunken Head, very, very powerful items on him for that, again, that mobility factor here. So
even the Dawnbringer, actually, with maxed out static discharge, a Dawnbringer and Energizer, I believe he'll move it at haste speed.
Yep.
Rax is in trouble in the middle, and the Matrax keeping alive for now. Oh. Not able to get the Quake off, though, and he will die. Was the Quake on cooldown?
Yeah, he just used it, yeah.
It was on cooldown right before I got there, but does go down in the middle lane, and a great job by the Hellborn team bringing home that kill.
Yeah, it almost looks like Master of Arms actually is the one that killed him. It's kind of funny with the animation right there. He poured it in and shot, and all of a sudden Moraxis exploded. But anyways, yeah, so that's it again. Let's talk about the shining star here for the Legion team. You're getting ganked right there, so good job set up by 007. Obviously, Rally and Parasite coming together to accomplish that. So Fake insisting on still farming the bottom lane in the meantime. Middle lane, Rally and Parasite collapse to actually take out that Master of Arms who was still there, just soaking up the farm while Moraxis was returning, and sure enough, they capitalize on that. So faded back to him, though, in the meantime. Looks like Samwraith has made his way down here. He is now down here, and again, this is what this is definitely good to see for the Legion side. He also hits level 6 right there, so he has that Mirage now as well to be of assistance if need be. But hopefully for the Legion's team's sake, he could start kind of getting that farm up now.
Oh, Fade is actually down here looking for Sandwraith. He's got the Steam Boots, but Parasite's going to show up as well. Fade gets the spells off, and Parasite comes in with that Catman. Says, I'll take that, thank you.
That's got to be frustrating for Sandwraith. It's like he finally makes the adjustment, and right as he does, he gets dove at the tower. And sure enough, killed. Oh, Rally has a free kill right here in the meantime. He opens with a Seismic Slam. How ballsy is that? He doesn't even compel. He just opens with a Seismic Slam, and it actually did connect. I was a little surprised. It looked like it might have been out of range, but
Cakes
got the kill in Iglesias. Yep. Cakes living life on the edge there. Classic Cakes. So a nice kill for him. Energizer picked up by Corrupted Disciple. Again, a big item pickup for him, especially early on in this game. Rally, in the meantime, going to be locked on the Quicks, and it hits, but he got the compel off first. Samwraith ports in. It is going to be enough for the kill right there. Next, Moraxis using the Matrax even to explode to get the kill, so good setup there. And obviously Sandwraith, good that he can be of assistance. Help increase that farm. Faye continues to be at this bottom lane, not really choosing to leave the bottom lane, despite being level 9 now.
Hard carry.
Yeah.
Gotta get that farm on. I mean, she is the top farmer on the game and wants to keep that status. Sitting at 360 gold per minute, goes to town to finish up. Bottling up, gets a power supply and a Neophyte's book, so clearly on the way to a sheepstick.
Wait, what?
No. Just a joke between me and the viewers, but I don't know, maybe a puzzle box could be a possibility here. Lightbrand, Grimoire, push stick.
Yeah, I mean, even Codex, I mean, there's obviously a lot of options with Neophyte's book, so who knows what
how did I just overlook that?
What Fate is going to be going for. On the Parasite, not as much on the Fate, though, but with the way this game is starting, especially the start that he has, I could see him go for the Codex here against this Legion side. But now, granted, they do have some fairly tanky heroes. You got your Moraxis, you got a Lodestone. Sandwraith will no doubt start to bulk up. Meanwhile, at the top lane, speaking of Lodestone, speaking of being bulky, he stays alive for now. Fate is chasing, though, still wants to get the kill. Energizer going to be used right there. He will get the kill. He takes the face smash, but it doesn't matter. Head smash even. It's a kill nonetheless, so at least they chase him down. Now going to push the top lane. Portal Key has been purchased by Moraxis, so that's again.
Rally in the bottom lane was trying to get some initiation onto the Sandwraith, but just clipped the compelled just a tiny, tiny bit too short, and wasn't quite able to get into that one.
So he's just going to continue to pick up farm in the meantime, so not too concerned about that. But, ooh, Parasite coming to the middle lane. He has his own Codex right here. The jump, though, on a fade. The portal key from Miraxis coming in a big play. Down goes Fade right off the bat, but there's the counter kill on Iglesias. Still an exchange of the Legion team, pretty favorable for Mirage Use. Samurai thinking about chasing, will be falling back, though, because Corrupted Disciple and Rally nearby. There's the Energizer. Not going to chase, however. And Sandwraith will fall all the way back to his side. Minions coming over here in the river. Well, he happens to run into them. We'll just kill those shortly after and fall
Wise
back
decision to back up when that CD was TPing in. I mean, with that Energizer and the natural movement speed that this hero has, he would be able to run down quite a few of them. And Lodestone going to go head-to-head with an Illusion. And he'd come out on top of that one. No problem.
Almost chased it a little too long.
The Hellborn team, if you look at their wards, they're actually all centered on the top portion of this river. Actually, CD taking some damage in the middle lane. Hits the Energizer and trying to run away. Looks like that's no problem. It's in the top lane. There was a kill. It's all over the place. It's always all over the place.
Well, even Kongor came over from the Kongor pit and even threw a stun on a Moraxis. Tried to help him out a little bit.
It's party, bro.
Yeah, in terms of assisting, but they were not able to fully follow it up in the end. But Corrupted Disciple did a good job of juking around there, and he has 1,500 gold saved up. He's heading back to base right now, so maybe going to get some information as far as what he chooses to go for. Okay, there's the Quick Blade pickup, so most likely going to be the Firebrand into the eventual. Again, it could be Domber, it could just be straight up Geometer's Bane, so don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. But at least the Firebrand is probably what we're going to see from those Quick Blades here to start things off. And
I personally really, really, really like the Dawnbringer on Corrupted Disciple. I think it's, along with Sandwraith, one of the best heroes for that item, giving him such a huge amount of mobility, giving him the slow that's going to allow him to keep pace, and then, of course, adding some extra damage and mana regeneration. Really, really strong. So I personally like that one quite a bit, and there's not really too much to Geometer's Bane that you wouldn't normally just want a Shrunken Head instead. So probably Dawnbringer into Shrunken Head. That's the route that I like to see.
Again, we'll see what Rookie decides to go for here. Diglett was having a little fun with the Legion team. He actually got 4 players to chase after him in their own jungle. And he actually made a really crafty play of leaping over the edge, infesting a Skeleton King, and running away while the team was still looking for him. So he actually kept them occupied for a little bit right there. So well played by Diglett, but in the end, the Legion team is going to group up now as 4. The only one not with them is that Sandwraith, but of course with this Mirage ability. Great thing about the hero, he can really be anywhere you need him to be when a fight breaks out. So Tar in the middle lane, deny attempt from Parasite, unsuccessful. And definitely some gold that was necessary for the Legion team. However, the bottom lane being pushed in, ports are coming in. There is a pause though. We're having some awkward pause times today, and here we go.
We are, yeah.
We have the seizure screen.
Oh, you got the seizure screen?
Yeah.
I don't. But, yeah, Cake's gone. Best pause right there. But, yeah, there's been some awkward ones. This timing going to give both sides a little bit of potential to really look at what they want to do. And, well, they're going to attempt to figure that out. But taking a look at the Legion wards, trying to figure out what information they had going into this fight, they were really just focusing on the bottom side of the river. I had mentioned the top side of the river was being covered by the Hellborn side, and the Legion really don't know how many heroes might be lurking around the corner down here.
Yeah.
They didn't have any vision in the lane, so there could be even one hero that, like this Parasite, that might have been teleporting into this bottom tower. But instead, well, we'll see what they attempt to do here. And Fade actually does have 2,000 gold saved up, so she could straight up finish a Codex without having to disassemble the boots, or be looking for something else. Maybe something like that Grimoire, or even a puzzle box.
Yeah. Grimoire seems like a little extreme, but yeah,
maybe,
puzzle box, it's possible. I'm thinking the Codex, though. I'm thinking the Codex.
You thinking the Codex?
Yeah.
I was thinking so as well, and she just hasn't disassembled her boots, and she went back to town and hasn't done it yet. So that's what was like throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, sometimes they prefer to just have the Ghost Marchers, though.
Yeah.
As well. So
I definitely agree that Codex is a very, very strong item in this situation, and would not be surprised at all if she does pick that up. But these players, certainly taking their time with this pause here. Having some fun with the all chat as well.
Screen is shaking. Yeah, at least I can move away from it. I guess as a player, you're pretty much stuck on that.
Yeah, that's...
No matter where you go, actually. Maybe not, though. But anyways. This could be the game, says Moraxis. Where is Moraxis right now? He's in the... I assume he's porting right here.
Yes, he definitely is. And I mean, they definitely are acknowledging that they know how far behind they are, especially with that Sandwraith really failing to launch. And that we can see the resources right here, 7,600 gold and nearly 9,000 experience.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big deal. It's by no means insurmountable, especially with a Sandwraith on your team and this Moraxis. But right now, we're going to get back into it.
Here we go. Going back to the bottom left. So here comes the ports. Matriarch's going to be activated. The TP summoned to Rally. A big compel stun. Down goes Glacius right off the bat. But now Rally is in a lot of trouble himself. He is exposed. In comes the Lodestone. The Shatterstorm. Boom goes the Dynamite on to Corrupted Disciple. He falls. Rally off to the side now. He is trying to live throughout all of this. The bottle charge is being used. He has a compel to use. He also has a homecoming. So look at that. Trying to go a little bit moonwalking style. Not going to happen, though. And he does get picked off in the end. So... well played right there by the Legion team. Good response coming out. Now, Tower was killed in favor of the Hellborn team, I believe. Yes, it was.
Yeah, but losing your Rally, your Corrupted Disciple, I would say that it's not necessarily worth it in favor of a Glacius and a Tower. You could have done that a little bit cleaner, but the Legion team, they executed and played that one very, very well. Able to bring home some very important kills and close up this lead just a little bit, finishing something like the Helm of the Black Legion here. On Lodestone, you've got Sandwraith that was able to just pick up his Soulscream Ring, Mystic Vestments, he's starting to get there. I mean, still nothing major coming out on him.
Poor Glacius. Free kill for Parasite right there.
Never fun.
Using his combo. And Bart Future playing the Glacius, running into trouble.
And there's the Codex on Fade.
Didn't buy Codex? Okay.
Yep. Purchased the level 1 Codex. Still another 1,000 gold, so hasn't opted to upgrade it just yet. We'll see in a moment if that is something that she's interested in or not. But just going to be walking home for now.
Firebrand and Corrupted. See right here, even already moving at 418 movement speed now. Definitely starts to build up again. We'll see where he goes from here as far as... many of options still. Moraxis, he wants to jump in here. He is spotted, though. Wow, Corrupted Disciple knows that he's here, and he's just continuing to farm.
Big bait.
In a good position, yeah. But he definitely knows that they're here. As a Sword is like giving all this information. There's a jump right there. Will this bait be successful in the end? Corrupted Disciple trying to get away now. Energizer is going to be used. Can he actually get away? Sandwraith ports it. No, he cannot. Corrupted Disciple, man. I mean, he knew. There's no way he didn't know that. At least 2, if not 3 heroes were coming in. And then always Sandwraith is a factor, so that was ballsy, and it did not work in the end.
Yeah, really, really confident and hoping that his team was going to be able to help out, but simply didn't happen in this case. Fade is coming in behind with the level 2 Reflection activated. Could be looking for a pick-off. 3 seconds left on this Reflection. She's instead going to hop into the trees, and now she's in a really sticky situation.
Oh, yeah.
This is odd. The creeps are going to spot her out, perhaps. And yes, they are. So what is she going to do? She just walks right in there, tries to get the kill. The Sandwraith will get the kill. There's the Deafening Roar going to be coming in. The Shatterstorm going to be going off. Finishes off Fade right there. He's going to take the Codex, but oh my gosh, a Luna going to be going down as well. Seismic Slam will miss. Here comes the TP as Corrupted Disciple joins the party with an Energizer.
Yeah, he's going to chase that down. We'll get the 1 kill on Master of Arms. Lodestone ports out at the last second as Glacius goes out as well. And Moraxis, he actually happened to portal key away right as he was getting jumped at the end there. So at least the Hellborn team was able to chase them off. And they did get the big counter kill onto Sandwraith right there. That was definitely a funky initiation, though, coming out from We Are Spies. And you go back to the communication, what was involved there. I mean, he must have been expecting ports. I'm talking about Corrupted Disciple when the whole situation where he saw them there, he knew that there was a good chance it could have been jumped. He probably was expecting ports because while he was getting dove at the tower, nothing was coming in, and then eventually, Fade came in a little bit later on, and yeah, it was just kind of an awkward series of events. But I guess the big picture, though, they did kill Sandwraith, and you still have an 8,000 gold and an 8,500 experience. Sandwraith does finish his Energizer, by the way. So he is trying to get more of that presence there. Master of Arms also has an Energizer on top of them. Mirax is a big jump right there. Hits 2 heroes. Rally and Corrupted Disciple getting caught out. Rally will fall. Corrupted Disciple is a little quick, though. Even with the axes hitting him, he channels the conduit. But now with the Mirage coming out from Samwraith especially, he will be chased down. Big catch from Miraxis right there. Meanwhile, Parasite now, he's in a little bit of trouble. Oh, Glacius freezes his teammate. He meant to freeze Parasite, but he froze his teammate. The Glacial Downpour, it's not going to be enough for the kill.
Oh, no. And now Fade might be able to turn this one around and get a kill on the Sandwraith. She's going to open up with a reflection into the Coal and gets the Codex on the Glacius. It's just like, screw it.
Wow.
Let's get these kills. Oh my gosh, that is a huge mistake coming out from the captain of BRVO. Oh, not something you want to see when they were actually gaining some momentum back there with Miraxis having beautiful initiations, consistently hitting those axes. They were able to take down Rally and CD in the bottom lane, and then a small mistake like Glacius freezing his own teammate causes them 2 more kills and the momentum in this game.
Yeah, Norakami, I'm going to assume that's how it's pronounced. Norakami here playing the Miraxis. He has had a fantastic game. It really has. And even the sole reason why his team is still in this game, even now 21 minutes into the game, because of his performance in that middle lane. And as you know, we even just saw another great catch right there with that portal key. But yeah, the momentum kind of stalled there. Any bit of momentum that was maybe being built up because of what just happened at the top lane. Diglett making some fun plays. No doubt on the Parasite. Is he leveling up the Codex? Yes, he is. A level 3 Codex here now coming out. So a lot of burst damage potential to come out of him. Legion side, instead they're going to group up at the top lane. Master of Arms isn't with them currently, but they do have everyone else here. And yeah, I actually kind of look at that Master of Arms decision to go the Energizer here. As actually, hold that thought, we may have some more initiation. Double invis. They're going to jump Glacius, who was pushed up by them. And the Quicksuck completely misses and splits them both. Fade's actually going to port out right here, despite his team coming in to maybe fight them back. And that's going to be the end of that right there for now. So, good catch initially, and a good job avoiding death after that.
Yeah, interesting that they didn't try to follow that up. I guess they just realized what a lead they're in. They don't need to take risks. Fade instead just going to port to town, grabs the PK and says, hey, I'm going to live to fight another day. And with a portal key and a Codex as well as level 14, I mean, maxed out skills here. Fade is going to be a massive threat against underleveled targets like this Glacius and Master of Arms as he goes down. Fade going to get stunned up by the Quake here, slowed as well. The Matrix going to be detonated, but Fade is going to get away. Corrupted Disciple going to activate the Energizer coming back in here. Lodestone caught out on the high ground. He's going to try to rocket drill over the side and will get out of there, but right into the Corrupted Disciple. The autos are going off, the ultimate reducing the armor, and the autos will finish him off right here. Mirax is going to be taking some damage. The conduit going off, leeching it as well.
10 charges.
Oh my God.
308 maximum damage right now for Corrupted Disciple. He is hitting like a freaking truck here. Cannot finish off Miraxis though. Barely out of range. Glacius, a different story, however. And he will just melt to the ground. So big chase coming out there for the Hellborn team. Yeah, it's pretty to see that conduit get up to those charges though. But yeah, you mentioned Loso making a great attempt at the getaway, jumped right into him though. And the overload was up. The static discharge also doing work, I'm sure. And then the conduit getting to the 10 charges. So the big picture again, 007, We Are Spies is looking very, very strong here in game number 2 as it continues to move further and further on. So I wanted to talk about the Energizer pickup on Master of Arms. He did get it even after. I'm going to even stop trying. We have more action coming up here. Rally's going to be jumping to the middle lane. Rally is going to end up falling, actually. He just compelled it before that, so not able to compel away. And at least a counter kill coming out for the Legion side. Some signs of life for them. And are they going to just try to push here? Maybe go for a Conqueror Ninja? They're just going to push out the middle lane, at least for now.
Yeah, gonna look to try to convert on this power play into a tower kill. At least gain some semblance of map control back. But it's just so difficult when your Sandwraith is still sitting at sub 200 GPM, not even level 11, 24 minutes in. Not the kind of start that you really need to have your Sandwraith carry you into the later stages of this game. And the Hellborn team is once again setting up for another possible fight. Reflection on cooldown for Fade, 30 additional seconds, so she's not really going to be looking to get into this. The team just setting up for more of a turtle than anything else. But there's an offensive TP coming in. CD and Fade are going to go. Codex one shot and
Burning Shadows missed right there, and actually Fade is in a lot of trouble. She will go down. Shadowstorm is going to explode, not hitting anyone. He is completely exposed now as a result. Corrupted Disciple returns. The face like on Loso right there. He's just trying to distract them, if anything. Says, chase me over here. He somehow distracted them forever. Finally will go down. And you see Fade is going to try to catch somebody. She's running in the front line. She has a reflection out. Moraxis actually is in some trouble here. He's going to be able to bottle up this illusion room, but he is going to be jumped right there. Burning Shadows. The Cole comes out. He doesn't have any mana currently. Will he split up with the illusions? Yes, he will. Is it going to matter in the end? No, it's not. He is going to be chased down. Moraxis is killed. So whenever it seems like there's a little bit of sign of hope for our Legion team in this game, it just completely is taken away from 007 yet again. So they're not giving them anything, man.
The spies are just kind of going insane right now. They sense the blood in the water. They can smell it, and they just want to take a bite out of this BRVO team, and they certainly have. They're just looking to go for the killing blow here now, and, well, that killing blow may be in the form of a level 5 Codex just finished up on Parasite. We already saw the one-shot onto Glacius in that fight. He's just like, Codex, you're dead. And Glacius is like, well, I guess I'll see you guys in a minute.
Yeah.
Like, that's always just so demoralizing as a hero, just to get one shot by a Codex. Literally no other spells used.
Yeah. No Mystic Vestments. He only has the red boots. He just has 2 minor totems or stat items. So, yeah, Glacius is finding himself to have a difficult time. And not only do you have a Parasite with the Codex, but you also have that Fade with the Codex. So, and we've seen the Codex beams coming out multiple times, in one after the other between those 2 heroes. So, constantly having to deal with that. Looks like Corrupted Disciple. He's going to be following up this Firebrand straight into the Shrunken Head, actually, is what it looks like it's going to ultimately end up being. And again, as I stated earlier, a huge fan of a Shrunken Head on Corrupted Disciple on top of the Energizer. His mobility, that's what he's all about. We saw earlier, if he can get those charges up to 10 charges especially, he will hit freaking hard and fast. So, and it's very difficult to get away from because of his mobility, because of how fast he is. He's running at 451 movement speed currently, but in comes a haste to Moraxis, actually. Will this be enough? With Samus porting in, it very likely could be. He puts the static discharge out, or the conduit, excuse me, but it's not going to be enough. Aluna ported in as well, and that's going to prove to be maybe even a fatal decision. Or actually, they're just say, you know what, we'll just go for the tower instead. I don't know about that. They chose not to dive.
Yeah, going to hit the Energizer and try to run away. Barrier Auto going to be going off as well, so there shouldn't be any chase here from the Hellborn team. In fact, Sandra is going to be going up the hill and TPing out immediately. While that was going on, Glacius, I believe, well,
okay, that happened.
Okay. That's a level 5 Codex. I mean, it just all over the map. He's just getting these kills, and great job. Bloodbath Streak coming out for Diglett, a player that's not normally on the jungle hero, but obviously showing some success with the Parasite, and Fade trying to consider going on Lodestone, but it wasn't going to happen. Just a little bit too risky.
Yeah, I think they've kind of transitioned with the rules. I mean, Diglett last season, he was known as one of the top farmers of all of HoN Tour even. He was up there on the list for really most, if not all, of the season. So, a very impressive carry player for last season. But this season, I believe in the Ultimate Series, and now even you can see here, Diglett's kind of transitioned into a different style. In this case, playing the jungler. I don't know if that is ultimately going to be the case. You know, maybe just simply wants to switch it up. I mean, you play one role for a whole season, why not switch things up? I mean, Chelsea's obviously even a prime example of that. The same thing even going for, or actually the opposite. He went from jungle, now he's playing more of the carry here for Stay Green, of course. So for a new season ahead of him. But anyway, it seems to be the case here. So I wanted to, again, talk about this Energizer, pick up a Master. I'll see if I can get it out now. I really think the idea of going to the Energizer, especially when you already have one on your Sand Wraith, picking it up, it probably could have been a better investment with something like a Tablet of Command, a lot more of a stronger utility item. I mean, the Energizer pickup, if you maybe didn't have one on Sandwave already, sure, that it could be some validity to it, but it also is leading towards, you know, maybe you want to try to be somewhat of a carry a factor later on, but with the way this game was going, I don't know if that was ultimately even going to be a case, even remotely going to happen. So going more of a utility item. Not to say that's why they're losing by any means, but just something I wanted to bring up a lot earlier on. So.
Well, there you go. Finally able to get it out.
I finally got it off my chest.
These guys would finally stop fighting. I mean, 42 kills here in 28 minutes. They're doing some work, that's for sure. Corrupted Disciple does look like he's going to be going for that Shrunken Head after the Firebrand, and in fact, just finished up that Shrunken Head, so not going to finish the Dawnbringer, at least just yet. And that's still an item that I would like to see. And I actually do want to point out something that chat has brought up a couple times here. When we were talking about that Glacius earlier, the Glacius, Sandwraith, and Parasite situation at Top River, according to them, it was actually the Glacius froze Parasite, and Parasite transferred that debuff onto
Oh, wow, yeah,
Sandwraith.
That makes sense. It must have been, I wonder if it was at the exact same time, too, because I could have sworn he was using the face like right as the freeze came out even. So.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that was even intentional with that set, if that was the case. But yeah, you see right there, portal key reaction really coming out from Faye. That was very quick by what you got. But yeah, that's very true. Obviously, the ice imprisonment can be transferred with the Faye cycle, of course, from Parasite. So
good eyes to the people out in chat there.
Definitely. Oh, do you actually have it? Okay, let's actually, we'll hold that thought, actually. We got Samwraith porting in right here onto Aluna by herself. This is going to be enough damage. It doesn't look like it, so she will actually get away before Samwraith can beat her down. Okay, so let's actually take a look at it right now if we get the chance. So here we go. This is where Parasite goes in. Yeah, he was in the casting animation of it as he got frozen, and it must have transit. I don't know. I honestly think he might have froze Sandwraith. I really do. It's like at the exact
he's
second.
Targeting onto Parasite here. There was a kill there.
Well, it's
a couple kills.
Actually, a couple of
yeah. I mean, I guess Sandwraith and Glaciers are dead right here, but that doesn't matter. Oh, they're going in. Actually, stun onto Fate. Lodestone going to be coming in as well. Activating the Shadow Storm. It's not going to go off. The Burning Shadows are there as well. Fate is going to go down, but Lodestone now going to get the Shadow Storm off. Parasite going hard. Parasite going to finish him off and gets a double tap right here. This 007 team, man, they're going real hard.
Yeah, initially it was a couple of quick Codex picks, but obviously the part that we caught here for you guys going back to the live action, it was just a big fight in favor of 007. They already had the numbers advantage. At that point, it was 5 versus 3. And also on top of that, Corrupted Disciple was able to sit there channeling that conduit yet again, especially with the Shrunken Head. And again, got upwards of, I think he might have even got 10 charges again. So Legion side, he got more access, the only one to survive, and eventually falls back right there. It is continuing to look uglier and uglier. I mean, you also see Sandwraith, in a sense, almost forced to go into this build here because of how the game's been going. He actually went the Firebrand first, and now he has a Mighty Blade. I honestly think that is going to be a Shrunken Head here to come out for him, as it could be very, very useful in this game. Might not be the build that you were hoping for when you first picked the hero, of course. Usually like that Mocker Brilliance, if not even a Geometer's Bane or something else, but because of where you're at in this game, the pace of it, you're kind of forced to do so. But
I mean, we kind of saw there just the situation that Sandwraith is in when he ported in on the level 10 Aluna and wasn't able to kill her before she was able to port out. Like, that's just, he doesn't have the damage as a result of being underleveled, as a result of being underfarmed 32 minutes in with just a Firebrand, essentially. Firebrand, Steam Boots, and Energizer. No real strong items. And so like you said, adapting his build that way. Fate and Parasite, they continue to just roam around the map independently, looking for as many kills as they can. Diglett looking for an Immortal, just going to be 2 kills away from that one.
I saw it. I don't want to bring it up, though, because now he's not going to get it. You know that, right?
Caster's Curse.
Because we brought it up.
I'm telling you, I got to get that emoticon.
They're
going in.
There we go. Fate actually gets counter-jumped in the process. Can he stay alive for long? He will stay alive for long, but the Shadow Storm finishes him off. The chase down for Lodestone. Parasite takes up the creep for the last second, but the Glacial Downpour rally turns around with the Seismic Slam. However, now he is going to be in a lot of trouble. He will end up falling. And a 3-for-1 exchange, actually, in favor of the Legion team. Can they make it a 4-for-1? Parasite running away in the Hell Cannon. He knows he's still in a lot of trouble trying to make an awkward pathing. I don't know where he's going.
He wants the Master of Arms with the Codex.
Okay,
it's not going to happen, but there's the Immortal. Crushed. His hopes and dreams are dashed.
Thanks, Beef.
Caster's Curse.
All right, so we're done with this game now. Let's move on to the next.
I'm sorry, guys. Diglett's going to get really mad at me. I'm going to get like a bunch of text or Skype messages. He's like, Beef, why?
14-1-7 is where it'll stop.
No.
Man, why did you have to bring it up? No, obviously that was a big fight. Okay, so on a serious note, though, I mean, that was actually a pretty damn big fight for the Legion side. Corrupted Disciple not being there, of course, had a lot to do with it. Without his presence being felt, the gameplay changes. And on top of that, you know, Fate and Parasite, they bring a lot of that upfront burst damage. But if that doesn't get the kills you're looking for off the bat, then we also saw, as we saw right there, I mean, plenty of turnaround chance for our Legion side. So at least kind of keeping that window open, you could say, is the Legion team there. And Barrier Idol, by the way, more access. He even had that for a little bit, but worth mentioning still. He was able to even use that last fight, I'm sure. So coming out right there with some good support utility, especially against heroes like that Fade and Parasite. But Corrupted Disciple now has a Frostburn finish, and that Dawnbringer is most likely going to be coming up here.
Yeah, as you were talking about earlier. On the way. So Legion team definitely showing their signs of life here. And if they can if they can draw this out, I mean, Fade and Parasite, with the builds that they've gone, will start to taper off in the super late game here. But with that being said, they both are farming very well. Fade going to go for the pickup on Glacius, letting the reflection finish him off. I really like that decision from what you got.
Yeah. Yeah, just knows that it was going to get the kill, so might as well run away himself and not keep himself vulnerable, as he dove very, very far right there to get that Kona Glacius. Kongor easily going to be destroyed. I don't even know if you give this to Corrupt Disciple. Yeah, you probably do.
Probably.
I was trying to think of against another hero, but yeah.
Fade has been dying a lot, and once she gets her burst damage spells off and her lockdown spell, it's really not super important for her to be able to stay alive, as opposed to the Corrupted Disciple, who's going to be in there trying to be the center of attention. And, well, in this case, CD will pick up the token. He's now going to be about 1,000 gold away from finishing up the Dawnbringer, which is going to make him pretty dang strong. And I made a comment earlier in the cast about Energizer and Dawnbringer, bringing you up to haste speed. That's actually with post-haste, I recall now. That was the build that I used to see Shams run a lot when he was running Corrupted Disciple with the Dawnbringer. So yeah, if you get post-haste instead of Steam Boots with this, you will be at haste speed utilizing just those 3 items.
No? He's definitely at haste speed when he uses Energizer. Oh, you mean...
No,
without even using it. Okay, I was going to say, yeah, when you use
yes.
it, no, he's definitely at haste speed. Okay, so without using it even. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so that actually, yeah, that makes sense. Double damage being picked up by Corrupted Disciple, by the way. As he happens to find it right there.
It's pretty good.
Walking on by. Yeah, it's all right, especially if we get those conduit charges built up now. With that picked up, so... want to be really careful with the Legion team, but... BRVO persevering here, doing what they can to make that comeback. And actually, you see Fade off to the side, getting some information. Ancients being cleared out there. They saw Fade. I mean, clearly something's... oh, no. Samwith, though, is by himself here. Fade lands the Burning Shadows. Here comes the Codexes. And the Face Slug to finish him off.
Oh, my God.
He went over there by himself, and the rest of the team had to go the other way. I mean, with the Desert's Curse, it allowed him to cut through the trees and everything. You got to keep that in mind, though. Yeah, it's kind of frustrating as your teammates in that case. You're like, dude, we can't walk through trees like you can. It's not the same for us. We can't go over cliffs. Yeah, that's a huge pick off. He also just bought the Shrunken Head, so
yeah,
he ain't coming back for 35 more seconds now.
Not the longest resurrection. It's not like he's level 23 or something like that, so they will lose this tower in the middle lane, but they shouldn't be able to take racks by any means. Maybe apply a little bit of pressure to mid, but I kind of think they're just going to fall back and play it safe here. And yeah, looks like they will instead choose to retreat. 5 towers down, so have complete map control on the bottom side of this map. Just be looking for that final tier 2 tower in the top side before they really do start to try to break this base wide open. But that's something that this team is going to struggle with, in my opinion. They really have no natural pushers on the Hellborn side.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. At the same time, I mean, well, what do you mean by push? Like pushing towers, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah, heroes that would just, you generally consider them very strong at pushing.
Yeah. I mean, Corrupted Disciple can clean up creep waves very quickly.
Yeah.
So things like that, I guess, and a Luna for that matter too. But
nobody with any minions, none of your Keeper, your Ophelia.
Ooh, Fade is being a little hard to catch here. Will he be caught in the end? Yes, he will. Oh. Samwraith poured in with the illusion, and they have a Bound Eye, of course, Meraxis. A big pickup for them, necessary, really. And that's exactly what they need to continue to do now. BRVO here. Buy more time for Sandwraith, really.
Yeah, for sure. With that being said, what I was mentioning about the pushers, if they do get a Savage Mace on Corrupted Disciple, they definitely could add a lot in terms of pushing, being able to shoot from down the hill. But he does also have that short range, 475 range as opposed to a full 600. That can kind of make him vulnerable, so that's just more what I'm talking about. Is I think that they will have a relatively hard time breaking the base, going up against Glacius and Master of Arms that both have 2 great turtling spells against Meraxis and Lodestone. They're going to be able to have big stuns. The Hellborn team is looking to win this by pure power of attrition rather than actually being able to break the base. Instead, looking to break the spirit of their opponent by consistently killing them over and over again.
Bottom tower going down, so BRVO. Again, another positive for them right there. Well played on their part. And obviously with Fade being dead through all of that, The other side of the spectrum, we are Spies. Pretty content on giving up that outer tower there. Not too concerned about it. Farming more time for Corrupted Disciple, as now has another 2,100 gold saved up himself. He talked about the idea of possibly selling like a Savage Mace. I think Wingbow could also be a huge pickup here for him too. Always just in general, especially for those range agility carries. So we'll see what he goes for though eventually. I mean, the Savage Mace's possibility here on the Legion side is probably pretty low at this point, so we don't even have that to be concerned about.
Highly doubt that we're going to be seeing a Savage Mace, so that Wingbow definitely makes sense for Corrupted Disciple. Right now, Fade wants to open on somebody, though. It actually, wow, I missed that one.
Watching Fade with you, and all of a sudden, Rally and Parasite come through. Rally actually, look at that play by Lodestone, actually. He jumps on a Parasite, figuring Rally's going to be dead anyways. Trying to get him distracted, but at one cost right here, Lodestone's going to get turned on. Oh, he thought he was being smart right there. And in the end, it did not pay off. And also over here, guess what? Glacius is dead.
Yeah. So all those problems about pushing the base, those don't really happen when you have 3 players dead.
Yeah.
Like, that's easy peasy at that point. And, well, the Hellborn team definitely going to try to capitalize on this one. No buybacks available. Everybody dead for at least 30 seconds. Glyph Fortification going to try to stop this for now, but I just don't think it's going to be a possibility. Miraxis and Master of Arms are going to be trying to hold this one off, but Fade in the background, along with Parasite, just going to be shooting off those laser beams. Corrupted Disciple is taking a considerable amount of damage from the tower, but remember, he does have that token of life.
He probably wants to die at this point. I mean, it's just over a minute remaining, as long as he doesn't get killed in a horrible position. And that might not even happen at this rate either. So they're going for the melee racks as expected. 3 seconds on Sandwraith. Sandwraith is coming up with his ultimate. We'll see if they try to make something happen. I mean, you see him locking out Corrupted Disciple and trying to do whatever they can. Frostburn just bridged by Sandwraith as well. They are going to kill Corrupted before the melee racks falls. There's, oh, the jump a little early right there, trying to time it perfectly. And now Miraxis Sandwraith might be delivered. Sandwraith ports in with the Mirage. He is chasing with that Shuriken, chasing Illuminable Heroes. Wants to get a free kill. He will not get it. Oh, the Deja Vu, though, ports into death right there. Ends up dying anyway, so. Man, that was a fun sequence of events there, too.
It was very fun. I'm watching Illuna with you, and I see the Shadow Storm going off, and I'm like, well, that's not going to hit anything. Yeah. And then Illuna ports back and gets annihilated, and I'm like, oh great. That worked out. So. No hope for Illuna to get away there. They saved the melee racks? No, they do not. So the melee racks did get finished off there.
Very close.
At the end. Yeah, I kind of stopped paying attention to it when Corrupted Disciple went down and then got distracted by the missed Quakestone, which, like you said, trying to time it perfectly, and he was just a very, very split second off.
Yeah, it's understandable. It's
so hard.
You got to go for it, really, in that case. He was obviously trying to get him right as he got up and could not use the Shrunken Head before. That would have been huge if he was able to land it. And still, it's not like it ended up horribly for his team. It still actually worked out pretty well in the end. Eventually pushed them back and showed they lost the melee racks, but that was probably going to happen either way. So Corrupted Disciple still might be in some trouble, actually. Oh, this is going to be big. If they can find Corrupted Disciple here, the Energizer is going to be used. They saw him. Energizer goes out. There's he gets the Shuriken off just before the Quakeson, not in time. If he hit that.
Nice job by Rookie. Yep. Getting that Shrunken Head off, saving his life, and like you said, that would have been a very big kill. He would have had a buyback available, but he wouldn't have wanted to have to use that, and it could have been big, but unfortunately not. The Hellborn team, they're just going to sit back and kind of turtle up, and as you and I both know, there's a famous quote, if you're ahead, just get power ahead. You don't have to force this situation and take risks by trying to break this base when everybody's alive. You sit back, you wait until the other team makes a mistake, and you get those pickoffs, and then you can go for the push. And 007, they are not an inexperienced team.
Yeah.
They've got the information that they need to sit back and just wait this one out.
Yeah, I always like to give props to Artosis for that one, but that's quote there of when you're ahead, give further ahead. What did I want to bring up? Oh, yeah, I love these item pickups here from the Legion side. You see Sam with Mirage. We're not going to port anywhere, just really using it for, or never mind. He actually goes on to Luna, actually. Offensive Master's Calls applied. This is very risky. He even activates the Shrunken Head. He went all out right there. Yep. He doesn't get the kill in the end. I mean, he's not going to die, but he did use a Shrunken Head charge.
Well, he's actually going to be going back in right here, and there's the Shrunken Head going to be activated by Corrupted Disciple. This is a pretty short Shrunken Head, though, there's Rally going to be going in with the slow. The Quake going to be going off. He gets his Shrunken Head off, though, as well, and it's just going to all hell right now. Rally going to be in there still, but it looks like Glacier is going to be the first and only casualty. Corrupted Disciple going hard onto Braxis, and Rally trying to get that seismic slam off. It's not going to happen. Braxis is taken down. Bound Eye going to be recovered, and Lodestone in trouble. Activates the barbed armor, but they do not even care. Lodestone goes down. And that could very well be it right here, Breaky.
Well, speaking of the barbed armor, I was going to say those are great pickup choices there by Lodestone and Moraxis, but yeah, that whole fight was just odd. I mean, this game has had just a lot of odd initiations, it seems like, when it comes down to it. And that was just another example of that. I mean, Sandray, I thought there was no way he was going to port right there, just simply using it for scouting information. He wanted that kill on a Luna, got very greedy, and because of that, that started that whole sequence of events, and that worked out for the Hellborn team.
I mean,
so.
he was actually able to get out of there with the Shrunken Head and back off. Then he saw the Corrupted Disciple and called for Meraxis to come on in. Meraxis went for the portal key, but once again, Shrunken Head able to get off right there before the axes started connecting, before any stuns came out, and then they were in some serious trouble.
Yeah, that's my point. I mean, the fact that he even went in if he'd never even ported in, none of that would have even taken place. So
that's true.
It's just that it was definitely a greedy move. Now you are down by a lot, so it's understandable to be taking risks like that. But even so, I mean, even for a kill onto an Aluna, it's just that in itself. It's kind of like, is it really worth it, especially when you're behind? I don't know. Anyways, it is going to open up another free Congo kill here. This is the third one, I believe. This is the second one, actually. Maybe it's the second one. I don't think we're going to have bananas.
If there are bananas left on the floor, then it's the third one.
No bananas. So, yeah, it was just the second one there. Corrupted Disciple picks it up once again, and he did obviously finish the wing bow here. Just prior to that, as really expected. So, he is moving fast. He's got plenty of armor, and he's hitting hard. Pretty much has it all.
Yeah.
Does Corrupted Disciple, so...
Looking good, looking good. I mean, if he does opt to go for that post-haste eventually, going to be moving around at pretty much haste speed right there. And that can get pretty dang disgusting, even getting the unit walking when he does flip that Energizer on, and of course boosting his team up. But there's not a whole lot that this Legion team has to deal with a shrunken-headed Corrupted Disciple. As soon as that shrunken head wears off, though, the CD is relatively squishy. At only 2,100 HP, he can be burst down pretty quick by Lodestone and really anybody else on the rest of this team.
Yeah, I mean, if you do lock him down without that shrunken head, whether it's before or after, no doubt he can definitely be bursted here, or our Legion's side. But it's the idea of being able to do that while the supporting cast is also not doing enough to stop it. I mean, there's plenty of supports here. You got Tablet on Aluna. You got obviously Rally and his Compel presence. You got Fade and Parasite bringing a lot of bursts themselves and picking off your own supports in the background. So a lot of factors coming to play there. Top tower goes down. They're gonna push into the base. It looks like. Why not now, right?
Yeah, why not? Speaking of Parasite, I don't know if you mentioned this. He actually got a sheep stick now.
So I'm building it, but yeah.
Gonna be finishing that one up. Fade continuing to level her Codex after getting Shrunken Head. And this Hellborn team is looking extremely scary. The Ward of Sight up on the high ground for the Legion team is spotting this out, and they're going to go in.
There we go. Mirage going to be activated. Lowstone with the follow-up right there. But Corrupted Disciple has the Shrunken Head off, and he's going to start channeling that conduit right now. It looks like onto Moraxis right there. He is being locked down, though. Corrupted Disciple is going to end up falling most likely. He does have the token of life, though. Going to come back up. Everyone is still alive on the Legion's side, so right now Fade is dead, and Corrupted Disciple does not have a token of life any longer. So actually, a very good hold there.
Really nice jump
by Team Bravo.
And that came down to Meraxis going for the initiation right there. I think the Legion just were not prepared for that. They were expecting that there was just going to be a little bit more hesitance.
Yeah.
And we've seen that before, that when you catch a team off guard with that initiation, even if you are desperately behind, you just have that element of surprise and you're able to make things sway your direction.
Well, you know, if we could actually take a look back at that here when we get the chance, I feel like the barbed armors played a big role in that fight. I want to be able to, double check that. But again, the pickups of the barbed armors for both Moraxis and Lodestone, I really feel must have played a big role right there in terms of the damage output overall, especially getting Corrupted Disciple even killed. So let's actually take a look back at that real quickly right here. So I'm looking at Lodestone and Moraxis to see if they even activate their barbed armors. Okay, there's a Lodestone barbed armor. Yeah, it is up. And then it is also used by Moraxis. You see Corrupted Disciple. He is kind of standing there, and then they actually just lock him down too. So I guess it even really it's a mix of the barbed armor, but also just good lockdown. Really,
there was also a really big Glacius ultimate in there doing a lot of damage to 2 players at the end. It looked like, and so nice job from Team Bravo though. While we were looking at that, looks like nothing really too much going on. This Golden Experience lead is continuing to be absolutely massive in favor of 007, but they're still failing to really break the base. They're trying to take these 5v5 team fights without a pick beforehand, and it just doesn't seem to be working out in their favor.
Approaching 50 minutes in right now, but yeah, you're right. And you also, again, as we saw there with Grip the Disciple, if you catch him either before or after that Shrunken Head use, and right now the Shrunken Head is down to 5 seconds, so he's used a couple of charges throughout this game that, you know, might have been in situations where it might not have either needed to or because he was just caught out, maybe pushed up a little too far by himself. Sure, he got away, but it did take off a second. So he only has those 5 seconds now. Now, he does go no Fire Blade here, and that's actually, you know, going to be an interesting pickup for him as far as more damage output. The Purge effect, always nice.
Yeah, being able to purge off those barbed armors is going to be a really big part of this. On top of that, he is attacking very quickly with the multiple agility items that he already has in that Dawnbringer Wingbow and Steam Boots. And then, so he's going to be burning a lot of mana, as well as getting another very, very strong slow to stack up those Dawnbringer charges for the additional slow. It really is quite a nice pickup here on Corrupted Disciple.
Yeah, definitely for a luxury item pickup, it's might not one you maybe expect, but yeah, it definitely makes sense. I think, as you said, with the barbed armor especially, wants to mitigate the damage from that as much as possible. So 3,600 gold now saved up on Sandwraith, by the way. I mean, he is starting to pull up quite a bit, and actually, he needs to be careful. Oh no, Sandwraith in a lot of trouble right here. Parasite coming in. Will he be able to catch him? There's a Sheepstick coming out. He could not get the Mirage up. Team of the Master's Call going to be used on top of that. The response trying to happen, but down goes Sandwraith. Now he does have a buyback. He uses it immediately. There is the Mirage coming out, and now Corrupted Disciple. He needs to be careful. Look at the damage on Corrupted Disciple. Corrupted Disciple is probably going to end up falling right here. Yes, the miss. Down he goes. The Wingbow doing a little bit of work off to the side now. Fade's also in trouble, so this could end up working out beautifully for the Hellborn team. Nice job from Rally, though, with the Seismic Slam. There's a good pickup by Parasite at the end on a low, so it looks like Master of Arms just barely cutting away. Rally now with that Shrunken Head. Codex to finish off Glacius in the background, and Rally doing a little bit of a half circle right here. Sheepstick on a Sandwraith, really just slowing him down. They're just trying to run now. Sandwraith isn't going to chase. He doesn't have a Shrunken Head, but he has an Energizer. He knows he's not that susceptible at this point, especially with who is left here on the Hellborn side. The chase out of a nice touch on the Capel right there.
I'm a little bit surprised that Sandwraith is not committing to this.
Yeah, he isn't. That is, I agree.
It's a little bit odd. Rally was really, really low on mana. He did not have enough mana for another Compel after the one that Sandwraith just dodged right there. It seemed like he could get a pretty easy, clean kill onto that Aluna using the speed of the Frostburn and the slowing effect there with the Desert's Curse, but just wasn't feeling confident enough and said, hey, we kind of came out on top of that fight, maybe. let's not throw it away, and it is kind of debatable. Sandwraith getting picked off, getting killed really, really quickly once they were able to lock him down with that Sheepstick, and then from there having to buy back to get back into the team fight. It was looking really good, and then Parasite got a couple pickoffs with some Codex in the background. He's just like, I'm going to peek back in and Codex you, and then 10 seconds later I'm going to Codex you, and next thing you know, it's kind of back in favor of the Hellborn team. The ranged racks drop in the middle lane while all that was going on, and things are still looking very good for 007, but looks like Bravo's not willing to give up yet.
Well, as far as our buyback situation is concerned, obviously Sandwraith using one right there. Fade has also used one. So other than that, everyone still has 2 buybacks, at least the amount of tokens left for them. So something else to keep in mind. But yeah, I mean, that, again, a bad start for the Legion team, but at least they got a response out of it and did take out Corrupted Disciple, sure enough, and pushing them back. I mean, you are looking at now a 34,000 gold lead, 37,000 experience data. This is definitely a point of no return, it feels like, if you're Team Bravo. But at the same time, I mean, it kind of feels like there is a chance, even despite what the stats say, honestly, because of just how these fights have been going lately. Really throughout this whole game. In fact, Mirage is going to be used once again. Where will he port, if anywhere? Okay, he does port up here. They wanted to chase Rally, but the Capel away a portal key. He is going to be fine. Now, Fade actually is going to be chased down. Portal key is up from Raxus. He's trying to find Fade right here. Aluna also over here. They just can't see Fade, though. He's in the forest. And now here comes the Hellborn team. Aluna will be spotted. She's going to be bursted down. Here comes the Sporting Cast out. Parasite jumps in as well. And here we go. Corrupted Disciple in the background. He's going to finally join the party. Barbed Armors are up. Corrupted Disciple going to start putting in the auto attacks now on a Sandwraith. Not going to be enough to kill him, though. He barely skirts on out of there. with the Desmond's Curse. Miraxis says, chase me over here. They are not going to do too much, though. They will chase him a little bit. Master Revenge gets fixed up, and there goes Miraxis. So at least Samurai survives. But the big picture, another one fight for Hellborn team there.
Yeah, I mean, Sandraid survived, but you lost 3 players. We saw what happened the last time that they lost 3 players. They lost a melee Rax. And that's the exact same thing that's going to happen right now. They're pushing out the bottom lane. It's going to be Lodestone and Sandraid, but Sandraid has no Shrunken Head charge for another 25 seconds here. And by that time, there should be a very, very low or dead melee Rax here on this Legion team. 007, they're looking to go for the throat right now. Buyback situation, there's one available on MOA, but he does blow it, and there's the tower. It's dead. Shrunken Head up in 5 seconds. Well, Glyph Fortification can keep this alive for now, and there's 4 players up.
Grab him off. Shatterstorm right here. He's going to jump in. It will hit both. Mirage comes out. Grab the top of Shrunken Head, but again, it's a very short duration right now. It's going to eventually wear off. Samurai does port in. The Energizer going to be used, putting the auto attacks. You see the conduit, though, now to Samurai. And Samurai's being completely destroyed by him and Rally. Big turnaround right there for the Hellborn team. Samurai does buy back again, so he is out of buybacks. Lodestone just trying to live right here. It looks like he's going to be picked up at the very end, but here goes Samurai, though. He's still out for blood, man.
He's got that Shrunken Head available. Going to be going in for the auto attacks. Slowing down Rally considerably. Luna charging up the Emerald Red here for the 2-second stun onto Sandwraith, but Rally will go down. Luna going to be in trouble now, though. A Codex just picking off Master of Arms in the back. Luna is going to drop right here, but that's the power of this Parasite. He's just poking in and out, picking off kills for his team when he can, and even though they weren't able to secure the racks, they forced the last buyback out of Sandwraith, and I mean, the Hellborn team, they're very content with the way that team fight ended.
Speaking of Parasite with that cut, I mean, you look at what at him, he just picked up recently that Grimoire Power, so 15% more overall damage even coming out from him on top of everything else. Yeah, fucking situation right here. Rally trying to get away, actually, compels into the trees, and now he's in somewhat of an awkward spot here. Oh, Rally's going to be locked down. Yeah, Cake's not making the smartest decision there. Typical Cake.
Typical
And unfortunately, he does get picked off. So now you look at the base during all this. Obviously, it's being pushed in, especially in that middle lane, in favor of the Hellborn team. But they do save the racks in the end. I mean, again, still living, man. They're living at the very least.
They certainly are, but things are starting to look pretty grim. I mean, they're not starting to look. It's been looking really grim for a while, notably that second buyback on Sandwraith. In my opinion, without those 2 buybacks in the last 2 major team fights, the Legion team would not have stood a chance, and that's no longer going to be available to Sandwraith. It's going to be looking really difficult for him.
It makes you look at that 3,000 gold he has saved up now and kind of wonder what he is ultimately going to be saving up for. Obviously, at this point, finishing a Dawnbringer does seem a little over the top. Something I'm sitting here trying to think of what could make sense. I mean, barbed armor yourself even, but on top of the dispersion maybe, but
I'm not even sure. I mean, maybe something like a Behemoth's Heart just could be damage, on the way. Maybe something like a Nullfire Blade. I'm not sure if Nullfire Blade, how that interacts with the new Corrupted Conduit, if that is able to be purged off of either Corrupted Disciple or yourself.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I'm not really sure on either of those ones, but no, it will be the Behemoth's Heart.
Well, Mirage going to be used. Will he port in? Doesn't look like it.
Nope.
Stops the Congo attempt, though.
Yeah.
At least initially.
Check out Parasite. Vendored his Mystic Vestments at 58 minutes to pick up a level 3 Lex Talionis.
Oh, wow.
So, wants the magic armor, also wants to be able to blow people up even harder.
Why the hell not? So they stopped Congo the first time, but especially without Mirage now, it's Hellborn team pretty confident that they can do this without any restraints. And just look at how fast he is dying. This time Banana's coming out.
There you go. Not going to forget him in the well either. Yeah. Or in the pit.
This time they actually do see them.
It really does seem like a disproportionate amount of time people do forget those.
Well, we had one game, I think it was forgotten twice even. Like 2 times in that game. It was the 3rd and the 4th Congo kill. It's like,
just don't see it too often. People forget, but Corrupted Disciple going to recover that token. Did Fender the Energizer. 3,300 gold saved up on him, so he'll be able to buy back. Won't be able to buy post-haste if he buys back to get back into this team fight. But that's what he's going to be marching on with. And the Hellborn team, I mean, they are marching down this lane. They are looking very determined to end this game right here, right now. Legion team has the Ward of Sight. Will they go for another one of those really quick initiations?
Yeah, they did just very recently place that. See more access. Keep an eye on him. Lowson obviously charging up that Shadow Storm. When he does it, here we go. There's the charge up. He's going to jump right here. The Rocket Shield's put down. He kind of does really nothing in the process. Doesn't really do too much. And Corrupted Disciple just runs at the front lines. Rally comes in as well. Samurai already being locked down, trying to get any damage out that he can. He has a Shuriken Head up. He's trying to do something with his auto attacks, but it's just not going to be enough. It is all of a sudden basically just him. GG well plays are being called, and 007 is going to finally take the victory here. Man, perseverance is to the extreme coming out there by Team Bravo. All the credit to them. But in the end, it just wasn't to be. So they do drop here. And here in the round of 64, as 007 moves on to the round of 32 with that said. So congratulations to them, and one step closer to starting off in that Diamond Division, which I'm sure is what 007's aiming for. So.
Yeah, they are definitely aiming for that. I even talked to the guys after the last season. Like, HoN for Season 2, our goal is to actually stay in Diamond 2 in a row.
Yeah.
That's that's going to be a goal for them. So you got to get to Diamond, and that's where you're starting out here with the qualifiers. And they looked good. There was definitely a really strong fight that was actually put up by Bravo, but 007, they just looked really, really good overall. They looked clean, and you could definitely tell that even Diglett and what you got there on the Parasite and the Fade might have just been having a little bit of fun with those level 5 codexes and going for Immortals, just trying to kill everybody. But that's the game plan that they went with, trying to actually just win by pure amount of kills. And 21 and 15
I
for
was
Diglett.
looking at that too. That's
pretty
ridiculous.
good. Well played, Diglett.
21 and 15. Would have had the Immortal if it wasn't for the Cassius Curse.
It's real.
He's this guy over here.
It is very, very real.
So, no, but 007, obviously, it ended up being a pretty fun game, at least I mean, a very action-packed game, especially for how long it lasted, being basically an hour mark there as we reached. So, Team Bravo, it was fun to watch them, and I definitely hope they obviously fight strong. And actually, so with dropping here, do they still have a chance of making gold even?
I believe that dropping here, they will go to the gold-silver placement.
Gold-silver placement match now.
Yes.
So, yeah, so they still have a chance of even starting in that gold division, if not going to be silver at the very least. So we'll see where Bravo ends up there.
32-team tournament, and the top 8 will go to gold. The other 24 go into silver.
Okay.
So they're going to have to do well in that one if they want to make it to gold, but they definitely have the opportunity.
Yeah, they do. They most certainly do, and I would not be surprised to see them in that gold division. Again, they definitely played very well themselves. So, but it was also nice seeing the Corrupted Disciple pick up from 007, another kind of carry we don't see too often, but picked up here by We Are Spies, and Rookie definitely made it work. That conduit was built up many times, and a lot of fun to watch that progress. So, well, that is going to be doing it for our coverage here for today and for this weekend here, Beef, as far as the HoN Tour Season 2 qualifiers go. So, we are now down to 32 teams. 32. It started at 512-team bracket yesterday, and we're down to 32 teams now at the end of today. It's just crazy how fast, how rapid it is in these single elimination tournaments. But that is the case when it comes down to it. So
very, very quick.
For
sure.
Yeah, as far as the round of 32 goes, obviously now coverage for the HoN Tour qualifiers and the tournament in general, it will continue now next weekend.
Yes.
Where I believe, at least at this point, you'll be casting back on Coldcast over there. So get some multiple streams going on for that even. And definitely going to be having some fun as far as getting down to the finals of that all the way. Where it's so next week it's the 32-16 on Saturday, and then 8 and then 4 on the Sunday. And then actually the third place match is then on I want to say on the Tuesday, and then the finals is actually on that Wednesday. So the full schedule is on the HoNtour.com website. So we do got that to look forward to, not only next weekend, but that following week. But this week, so despite coverage for this tournament being done, Beef, we still got plenty of coverage to come this week here.
Absolutely.
The Alienware tournament continues, and it's ultimately going to be wrapping up, I believe, on Thursday. But we still got some fun matches to look forward to from that one. So.
Not just one Alienware tournament. We got the NA and the EU tournament. So, I mean, going to be looking forward to Thursday, 2 best-of-3 finals between all those teams. I mean, those guys are fighting out for a lot of money, $1,500 US on the line for NA, and then I believe 1,800 euros on the line for EU. So a considerable amount of money in both of those, and there's some good teams that are still in the runnings for those. So I'm very much so looking forward with that. We'll be getting started with that tomorrow.
Yeah, I believe we should, and that's for the European division. We'll be getting started with that. That's going to be at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's 2000 Central European time, I believe when that is. for the Alienware tournament. So that's when coverage here on HoNcast is going to continue. Again, with the Alienware tournament, as far as the HoN Tour HoN Tour Season 2 qualifiers, that will continue into the next weekend come next Saturday. So it's been a lot of fun this weekend. Definitely checking out some teams we've never seen before, as well as a mix of teams that we definitely have seen before, such as the match that we just saw. And fun heroes, man. We got to see the introduction of Captain's Pick, and we got to see these most recent balance changes coming into play as well. And it's just getting started. Again, I keep thinking back to that. We're just getting started here, man.
20 weeks of cycles.
Oh, my gosh.
A grand finals.
And then the $150,000 grand finals over there in Southeast Asia. So, oh, my gosh, yeah. We're just getting started, and I can't wait. Beef, you have any final words here for this cast, at least?
Thanks to everybody out there watching. Once again, a huge shout-out to the guys over here at HoNcast, Breaky, and Panman for having me out here, and S2 Games for having me here. It's been a real pleasure so far. I'm looking forward to the next 5 days or so of casting, and I'm going to be sad when I have to go back home, but it's been a real pleasure being out here, and looking forward to it. Tune in tomorrow, guys, for more HoNcast.
Definitely going to be fun. Shout out to you guys at home. As always, with that said, both the subscribers, non-subscribers, the viewers in general, we love you guys, and without you, wouldn't be able to do this in the first place. So shout out to Panman, definitely our producer. And hopefully you guys were entertained with that said as far as our coverage went for this weekend. But again, as Beef put it, as I've been saying, coverage will continue tomorrow, starting with the Alienware tournament, both for the European and